Jan Brett is one of the top author-illustrators of children's books, known for her colorful illustrations of a wide range of animals and her depiction of diverse cultures. This 3-time New York Times bestseller made her indelible mark on children's literature. We sat down with Jan to talk about her life, her work, and her first national book tour in 4 years.
The bus is wrapped with all wintry things because it's a winter bus tour. There's a couple of books from COVID that I never got to go around with. Usually I go every year and it'll be the new book. And so I'll be talking about them and signing them. And there's a costume of Hedgie that comes, which makes it kind of festive and fun. Oh, and I have news notes. For every book that I do, and it's also on my website, it's a letter to kids about how I got the idea, where I went to do the research, and like little tidbits, things that I can't put in the book. Like, for example, a tidbit that I couldn't put in the book about Cozy, that Wolverine character. At one point he falls into a lead, which is part of when the ice separates, and he comes out and he's covered with ice balls and he needs shelter, so he asks Cozy for shelter. But in real life, Wolverines, their fur rejects any kind of ice, so I have to tell them that was when I kind of used my artistic license. And then I tell them that they can use their artistic license when they're drawing so that they kind of understand that as long as you know what it really is, you can a little bit change things if you want to. Then I do a drawing, and it's amazing if they follow the directions, they'll like have this creature that it's very easy to do. And the more it's quirky and more of their own character, the better. Like, if no one's gonna say, oh, the head's too small, because it's gonna be your small-headed muskox, which is cool, right? I'm always envious that I'm so studied in my drawing. But when I look at the young kids' drawings, they just, whatever is interesting to them, they make bigger. And so I love seeing the children's drawings. I just always feel that when you place a book in someone's hands that is at that age, are so absorbent, their minds are so vibrant, they just start capturing everything. It's a big job. I want to make it, like a good experience for them, and that opens up a world, but also makes them want to discover more. Both my parents are somewhat artistic, but they love the arts, and they let us make a mess. Like, we had this big counter and a drawer pulled out and it was just all filled with broken crayons. And my father worked for a computer company, and so we got all this paper. And we'd just spend hours drawing. That's just what we did. Or make a block city, or just, or huts in the woods. Those would be the 3 activities. My mom, she didn't believe in art lessons. She wanted us to just create and be imaginative and not get too studied at that time when we're young. And then I did go to art school. And I would say the biggest mistake I made was I felt that I didn't need to study regular subjects because I was going to be an artist. But yet what I didn't think of was that everything that would be in my intellect, quote unquote intellect, would come out in my artwork. As long as when you travel, and people would always say, see the world, because it's not until you go to like a different place, Africa, or and 2 of these books are set in Denmark and 2 are set in the Arctic. And I was really informed by the colors that you would see that are different there. When we went to, Costa Rica, all the colors are totally different there. And the animals were colored differently. In Africa, there's different colors you see that you don't see here. And so I would say traveling was really helpful. But it's just that exuberance that you have as a child, discovering things, that I love to recover when I'm drawing. So I'm remembering about what it's like to be 6. And I used to look at my books and say, now when I'm an illustrator, I'm going to be like this person, because I love the way that they show all the details. I would be easily offended if it looked like it was dumbed down for me. I'd go like, what if they think why wouldn't I be able to understand this? Why do they have to make only primary colors and big, simple objects? Now, I have to say that I'm not against cartoons, because cartoons can be very nuanced. It can just be a wiggle in a line that could be something different that makes it the emotion come from this one little wiggly line. It's almost like poetry for art. And I'm on the other end of the thing. I like to put every little detail in. A lot of times at book signings, the children will see things in the books that the parents will never see, and they can't wait to show me. And it's because I think children are very visual at that age because they don't quite have the vocabulary to express themselves, but yet they can have this great intellect. That's not going to change. And they'll see things and they'll absorb it visually. And I think it's very satisfying them to get nuances and to understand different emotions, because I always say, like, a lot of times it's not just one emotion you feel, it's many at the same time. I use for an example, okay, you got school, first day of school the next week, and you're with your parents and you're at a state park and you're having a cookout and you're really happy because it's a gorgeous day and you can jump in the lake, but then you're thinking, well, are my shoes gonna fit? Have I got the right school supplies? Is my best friend gonna be in my room? And so you're like really happy and excited, but you're also got this like little bit of a worry thing going on too. So you have two different emotions at once because we're complex, we're humans. And children really understand that. And you can do that in drawings. And I love being able to do that. Like, a perfect example is the hat, where Hedgie is a hedgehog, and he gets stuck in a mitten. He's just exploring, because they're kind of looking for things, and mostly bugs, in hollow logs. And he finds a mitten that's come off a line, and he gets stuck on his prickles. So he has to see, all the farm animals are saying, oh, you look ridiculous with that, just teasing him about this thing on his head. And so he has to try to get it off. At the same time, he's kind of pretending like nothing's wrong. Like, oh, I'm just wearing it because I'm protecting me from the snow. And he's trying to make up all this stuff, because remember being that age, like you wear the wrong thing. I usually get a plot idea first, because I always come up with great characters, like an animal or a person or a personality, and then I come up with a great setting, traveling, but then it's putting a plot there. That's the hard part. When I first went around with my portfolio just as an illustrator, I went to Houghton Mifflin, and the editor there, Walter Lorraine, said, Jen, you're a good enough artist, we'd love to use you, but we've got to find a writer to match you. Had you ever thought of writing your own books? I said, oh no, I'm a terrible writer. I hate writing. I don't like it at all. I shouldn't use the word hate. I don't like writing. I'm not comfortable writing. And he says, yeah, but how about a storyteller? And I go, oh yeah, I can tell stories. And then I have two younger sisters, and every time I open my mouth, they all roll their eyes and go, okay, is this true? Because I would always make things up. This is as a child, and could possibly be as an adult too, but I'm not gonna admit to it. I just want them to feel like they've gone to another world, that everything is so convincing that they feel like it's a place. It's like Winnie the Pooh in that forest. It's just like there's Piglet's house, and it just seems like a place. Or, so many books are like that. You just feel like this must be real. This can't. Or when the book ends, you go like, okay, well, now what? What's going to happen to that character? So I like to get that other world, and because as an adult, I still search for that.
For more information on Jan Brett and her work, visit janbrett.com.
If you enjoyed this video by The Local Scene, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.